is John Cena's greatest ever rival? We are going to be discussing it today. What is up, everybody? I'm Ben Allison here at Wrestling Republic, and I'm joined with Clark Taylor. How are you, Clark?
Fired up to be here. Love making lists. Let's make a list.
Absolutely, and let's start at number 10, and I will kick us off with none other than the man who kind of made John Cena's career, the man who he came out to, he interrupted to prove that he had ruthless aggression, Kurt Angle. What about you?
I think that's a really, really solid pick. I'm going with Kevin Owens, though, featuring the NXT Championship on TV. It obviously skyrocketed Kevin Owens' career, main roster debut. I love it. I've got Kevin Owens at 10.
That is a great pick, and actually somebody I don't even have on my list.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, up next, I'm going to go with somebody who he was feuding a lot with when I was younger, and I loved the feud. Now, looking back at it, it's a bit more rocky than I think it was, at least it felt like at the time to me, but still, they did have some fun segments, and that is Batista.
Ooh, I like that. That's a solid pick, Ben. Honestly, not on my list either, which is interesting.
Okay.
Now got one not
each.
on each other's list. Yeah, that's funny. Because my next one is already on your list, and that is Kurt Angle, Ruthless Aggression. So number 9, I've got Kurt Angle myself.
There we are. We both have Kurt covered. I mean, he's a non-brainer. He's just one of those, even though it's lower down, who just has to be on the list. Because he was so important to making that career.
Excuse me, sorry about that. Yes, no, 100%. I mean, it launched an era. Absolutely, 100%. And yeah, sorry, these allergies are killing me here in the fall, but Kurt Angle and John Cena did not kill me. We're good to go. I enjoyed it. And
it did the opposite. It made him. It brought his career alive. But up next in at number 8, I'm going to go with somebody who he is going to be facing at WrestlePalooza next weekend. And that is Brock Lesnar. I mean, look, it's iconic, right? Their match at SummerSlam, I mean, whether you loved it or hated it, it was iconic. And it established Brock Lesnar when he came back to the company as, hey, he is sure to be a big, big deal.
I dig it. I think it's a great pick. And I'm laughing, though, Ben. You might have jinxed it with the Batista call.
Oh.
You've now got 2 not on my list.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm surprised Brock's not there.
Brock and Batista both would have been my 2 honorable mentions, but cutting room floor.
Fair enough. Who's your number 8 then?
My number 8 is Shawn Michaels. They played an amazing Can They Coexist storyline and then put on, probably in my mind, John Cena's best main event WrestleMania match, but mostly because of HBK.
Well, I mean, you can't forget when you're talking about them as well to talk about their match, their night after WrestleMania. Because in my opinion, that was the better match.
I think
that was maybe
too.
The greatest match in the history of Monday Night Raw. I will stick to that, even though we have had quite a few bangers in recent years now. I don't care. To me, that is still the best match in Raw history. And it is also why Shawn Michaels is number 7 on my list.
I love that. That's awesome. Great pick. And I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I had him pretty high on my list too. For a rivalry that wasn't super long, I don't think it's necessarily the most memorable, but I do think it's arguably it's in the top 10 because of its importance.
And also how good it was in ring.
Right. Yeah, that is the in-ring aspect of it is really what puts it over the top. I would agree 100%.
Who do you have at 7?
This one's interesting because in-ring wise, it wasn't quite as good, but the impact that it had is why it made this list this high. And it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It's The Rock.
Okay.
It's the final boss, the board of directors. They basically commandeered 2 WrestleManias, but if you're going to be on the poster of back-to-back WrestleManias, that's a big deal. And to me, it deserves a spot on the list here.
Absolutely a fair shout. I'll let you go first on number 6. Who are you taking?
I'm going with AJ Styles, the face that runs the place.
Okay.
I loved this feud. I thought it sort of revived John Cena for a brief bit after things got a little bit stale, sort of. It brought back the he's the man thing. Yeah. AJ brought the best out of him, and I think, I mean, I almost went higher. This one, I was very torn on putting AJ at 6.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very, very difficult one because I agree it was an absolute banger of a feud. In at number six, I'm going to put somebody who I believe, yes, maybe match wise, well, definitely match wise, isn't anywhere up there, but it's nowhere near as good as the AJ Styles ones, for example, or the HBK ones. But I still think it deserves to be mentioned because storyline wise, storytelling wise, it was so good, is Bray Wyatt. I mean, those two, every segment they had from the whole world in your hand segment all the way to the Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania 36. I mean, look, everything they did was cinema, as the kids like to say. And yes, obviously, Bray should have won at WrestleMania. There's no doubt about that. But it was still a huge, huge program and a storyline which, to this day, I just think so fondly of. And I kind of, when I think of Bray Wyatt, think of John Cena.
I think it's a great call. It's some of his finest work. If you include the Firefly Funhouse too, man, come on. That is, I said my honorable mentions a little too early, and I hadn't seen
Oh,
your list
wow.
yet
You didn't have
because
Bray either.
I don't have Bray on my list, unfortunately.
What
But
I'm trying to work
yeah,
out is who you're going to have on your list, who I don't have on my list, because there's been a few names already, so you must be getting to some.
think there's two coming up that you're either going to be shocked by or you're going to be a little disappointed didn't make yours.
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see. In at number five, though, I'm going to go with your number six, AJ Styles. At the end of the day, this was a feud which really means a lot to me because it was after I just got back into wrestling again. And I mean, look, I was a huge AJ Styles fan. He came off that feud with Roman Reigns, a brilliant feud. And he went into this one with John Cena. It was where he turned heel in WWE. And it's one of my favorite storylines of all time. And yes, I understand it. That's a dramatic call. Not many people are going to agree. But it just meant so much to me because it was kind of what really got me back into wrestling during 2016. So I do have AJ Styles at number five.
I love that pick. Obviously, the AJ feud I think is super impactful. My number five, Ben, is really interesting because it's my personal favorite John Cena feud, but I don't think it's top 10 based on impact all time and for this list, but it definitely deserves top five. And I think this is one you might have left on the cutting room floor, but it's the Samoan bulldozer, Umaga. Umaga and John Cena was absolutely delightful. That is my favorite last man standing match ever. That match at Rumble stole that Rumble. It's unbelievable. It's some of Umaga's best work. Armando Alejandro Estrada going back and forth with the mic with Cena is electric. It's one of my favorite things ever in wrestling.
I'm going to be fully honest. I mean, this was before I started watching wrestling, and I watched that Royal Rumble match, and honestly, five-star classic in my eyes, undoubtedly. But outside of that match, I haven't seen anything from this feud, which is probably bad of me. I need to go back and watch the tapes. But other than that match, I haven't seen it.
The feud was amazing, Ben. You really do need to go back and watch the tapes because Estrada on the microphone and then just Umaga doesn't say anything. He's just that scary.
Yeah.
But Estrada carries it, and the back and forth between them two is some of my favorite work promo wise I've ever seen.
I need to check that out then. Undoubtedly, that's big praise. Some of the best promo work you have ever seen. In at number four, I've got one which you said earlier on, and that is The Rock. Like you said, back-to-back WrestleManias, but more than that, it's a feud which I think is aged better because it has shown how much of a hypocrite John Cena is. And that Bray Wyatt feud following it too. Bray Wyatt leaned heavily into this. It's like, you called out The Rock for years for being a part-timer, going to Hollywood, all of these things. And a couple of years after, literally just a couple, you did the exact same thing. Back-to-back WrestleManias. Nobody else on this list John Cena has done that with in the main event spot. So John Cena, Rock, that is my number four.
I love that pick. Yeah. I mean, I was actually shocked that you had him higher than I did. But, but I think that's fair. But I think it's fair. I'm just glad you didn't have it in the top two.
It's not in the top two.
Yeah, that would have made me nervous.
I think the top three, to be honest, are non-negotiable in my eyes. But who do you have it for?
No. I think we're going to have a negotiation because I'm pretty sure I know who your top three are based on this. But one of them that I've got it for is Mr. CM Punk himself.
What?
Yep, I've got
4.
CM Punk at 4. I do think the rivalry was great, but I think there was some left to be desired. And we didn't even get the final ending that we deserved along the retirement tour because it was a little bit too little too late. And I think that's the only reason it doesn't crack the top 3. There are 3 others that I absolutely think are no-brainers and the most important 1, 2, 3.
I am absolutely fascinated as to who
It's
you
a
have in
very
third.
strong 4, but third is so logical.
I mean, to me, honestly, CM Punk, well, look, we'll go straight into it. I've got him at number 3. I was thinking a long, long time, long and hard about which order I was going to put this 3 in. And at one point, I had CM Punk at 1. So I am stunned you had him at 4. But yes, CM Punk, John Cena, I mean, they are opposites. These guys, I mean, basically, they saved the early WWE in the early 2010s, right? They were basically carrying that product. It was one of the only good bits of storytelling throughout those years, and it was just amazing. John Cena was everything that CM Punk hated, and vice versa. But at the same time, they also had a lot of similarities. They just went along different paths. Yeah. And their in-ring chemistry is one thing, right? I mean, maybe, this is a hot take, I'm not sure if anybody brings out the best in Cena in ring-wise as much as CM Punk does. Honestly, they are like magic together. But on the mic too, I mean, it took Cena to a whole other level. And yes, Cena Punk, heel versus face, this year was cut short. It was very, very short. But I thought for what it was, especially with that promo, it was exceptional. So for me, number 3 almost feels harsh.
I think that's fair. I do definitely think top 5. Obviously, I've got him at 4, but I think number 3 is a no-brainer for me. And it's JBL. It's John Bradshaw Layfield. And here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. John Cena, the transformation from the Doctor of Thugonomics to what we've come to know John Cena as over the last 2 decades happened because of JBL. Because of that rivalry. He won his first world title at WrestleMania Hollywood from JBL. Yes, the fans began to cheer him in the run against the Big Show at the Garden and whatnot when he was still wearing throwback jerseys and wrapping himself to the ring. My Time Is Now became his song during the JBL rivalry. The horns, all of that happened during the JBL rivalry. He wins his first title at 21. They have the iconic I Quit match that proves that he's tough and he can hang. JBL is, I think it's almost underrated to have it not on your list. Ben, I'm stunned you don't have JBL on your list.
I'm going to be completely honest here. I was literally going between Kurt Angle and JBL for number 10. Okay. So it's not like I didn't think about this. I did, but I thought ultimately Kurt Angle's the importance the knock-on effect had is why it didn't make it. I feel bad for it, right? Because I think it could make the list, right? If the Batista feud wasn't something I was watching when I was younger, that could have been put there instead. But at number 3, that shocks me.
I think it's interesting because, you talk about watching when you were younger, right? This was during the prime of me watching when I was younger. This is what made John Cena to me,
fair enough.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So in my perception, I've got that kind of nostalgia about that rivalry in a way that I don't about the more recent ones. Styles, I watched through an adult lens, right? Yeah. I watched the JBL rivalry through the eyes of a child. And loved it for sure. But I truly believe it's what made Cena into the Cena that we have today. Otherwise, we'd still have the Doctor of Thugonomics music, right?
We'd still maybe, but I don't know.
We wouldn't, but that was the beginning of the John Cena.
It happened during that feud, but I don't necessarily know if it is down to that feud.
And then you go to Judgment Day and you have that I Quit match that is arguably one of the best I Quit matches of all time. With all the blood and everything, it's unbelievable how good that I Quit match is.
Listen, more I think about it now, I should have had that instead of Batista at 9, right? I won't deny that. But at number 3, I still think that is absolutely ridiculous. But fair enough, nostalgia. My first memory of JBL, actually, was WrestleMania 25. Or was it 20? I think it was 25 when he quit against Rey Mysterio after losing in a few seconds. Yes. That was my first memory of him. So, I've had to go back and watch. So I always thought
JBL, peak JBL as a heel was as good as they made him.
He was good. I have gone back and watched his stuff. He is somebody who I have seen a lot of. But number 2 now, I think we both know who our top twos are, right?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious. And for number two, I'm going to go for Edge. Based on your reaction, I'm guessing you've gone the other way.
Yeah. I didn't want to cut you off there, but I've got Randy Orton at 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're basically trading picks here. Splitting hairs. The kicker for me, I guess, not to get ahead of myself, was I feel like Edge and Cena's story was more complete, whereas Orton and Cena traded so many matches. It went on for so long because he didn't have to go away like Edge did. That just like that's what gave Edge the nod at 1 for me. Not to spoil my number 1, but it's pretty obvious where we're at now, right?
Oh, it's completely obvious.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to do that, but just the, this is let me put it this way. This is the one I thought about the most last night. I went back,
Yeah.
I looked over how many matches, the records against each other and everything. I would say that Edge versus Cena is just slightly the more complete story with slightly more memorable moments. Like if you include the Money in the Bank and then the TLC and then even the like brass knucks when he can get DQ'd and lose the title and like all of that, I'm like, shoot, like it's razor thin though, because Orton is the obvious other choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many arguments for Orton.
And that is, of course, my number 1. I mean, look, I do think, again, this is an age thing. Because I have seen the entirety of the Edge Cena feud, right? But I saw a lot of it after I'd already started watching wrestling. I went back and watched it, whereas the Randy Orton feud, it was on Monday Night Raw every single week as a kid. And yes, if I watched that now, I'd be complaining about it on Allison Analysis being realistic. But as a kid, I mean, that was like the biggest rivalry in wrestling. It really was. And I loved it. So many top moments. And they were like The Rock and Austin of when I grew up. They really were. They were A and B. But at the same time, I can't disagree with you on Edge because you actually watched that as it was happening and you were a bit older for the Orton feud, so maybe you would have noticed the issues a little bit more.
Yeah. I definitely think it comes down to that. I mean, even it's so close. Like even the Orton feud I loved, and I mean,
it's so many good moments.
There's even early Cena Orton before like the real feud takes off, like short, small encounters that were great. They always had awesome chemistry on the microphone and stuff. Like it goes way back, and the I mean, being OVW guys too, the connection between Orton and Cena is forever. I think, right? Like.
Absolutely. Well, there we have it, guys. Our top 10 John Cena feuds of all time. Do you guys agree? Let us know your picks in the comments and like and subscribe if you haven't already. We are planning to do these top 10 videos every week if they do well. Every potentially Thursday, potentially Tuesday. We will figure it out. But make sure to like, subscribe, and let us know your picks in the comments if you want to see more of these. Thank you for joining me, Clark, and we will see you guys in the next one.